Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Knife Nuts podcast, the show that brings you the best and worst that the knife community has to offer. And here we are, post-Blade show. How's everybody doing?
I'm good. Didn't really pay attention to Blade at all because I was at a wedding, but I'll try and fake it till you make it.
That's a good move. It kind of works in all aspects of life. Jake, how are you?
Jake's present tonight.
That's good.
That's as far as he's going to go. Jake,
Brian,
rough day.
Brian, did you survive Blade show?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
So what did everybody carry today? Anything interesting?
Yeah, so actually because of last episode when we were talking about flashlights, it made me want to get something new, and it actually hasn't come yet, but I bought a Claris, I think that's how the brand is pronounced, MI7 in titanium. It's a AA/14500 flashlight. It's titanium, it's bead blasted, not satin finished, which there's a lot of satin finished titanium flashlights that look like shit after like a week of carrying. And it's like 700 lumens out the front, clicky, but it's like a side button, which I usually don't like, but I'm going to give it another shot here. And I'm pretty excited about it, but
Very cool.
Hasn't come in yet. I bought some Olight 14500 batteries and an Olight charger, which I do have now, but I am still waiting for it to ship, so that, and then I got in this MaxAce Balance 2017. It's M390. It's from MaxAce, which is one of these kind of faceless Chinese companies. I bought it off of my friend Pat. Shout out to him. He's SharpDad33 on Instagram. But anyway, yeah, for the price that he paid for it, and then I subsequently bought it off of him for, it is really good. So carbon fiber front scale, contour titanium, M390 blade. It's just fantastically utilitarian. I really like it, actually.
Is this the one with the thread lock insert?
Yes, that I destroyed 2 Weeha Torx drivers on. Yeah, so goodbye 2 T6s.
You gave me inspiration for criticism.
Yeah, so the ironic thing is that I then bought those drivers from a website called KC Tool, and they liked that picture on Instagram.
Yeah, that is the place to get knife tools, basically.
Yeah.
In my experience.
Yep, and they liked the picture where I was complaining about destroying 2 Weeha drivers, so...
You guys are knife tools. Jake, what have you been carrying?
So I mysteriously got on a real Spyderco kick lately, thanks to my British buddy who's an avid Spyderco collector, and he's been using my house as his shipping hub. So I think I have 4 or 5 of his new Spydercos here that I'm going to package up together and ship over to him in Great Bridgard over there. So which one did I carry today? Probably a little lightweight Dragonfly, most likely.
You'll never guess what I carried.
Also the Dragonfly?
Yes,
also
G10
a Dragonfly. Yes.
Yay.
Yes. Which isn't a surprise to you, Jake, because last night we actually took it apart and cleaned it up. I got it from another Instagram user, and he gave me such a great deal. So we cleaned it up, we put a new edge on it, and it's like...
And Levon had his first official Wicked Edge lesson.
Yes. Was I a good student?
Which went very well.
I learned to use a Wicked Edge sharpener.
I had a Wicked Edge and I sold it, but I've also owned every knife sharpening system there is, so it was okay. I liked it, but it was way too much money for what it was.
The learning curve is kind of steep.
Yeah, it definitely
I guess there could be a joke in there based around like setting angles, steep, but
But it's not funny, so
it's not funny, so we won't go there.
Yeah.
But it was there was something therapeutic about using it,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Until you cut off part of your fucking thumb with it like I did.
It's an acquired taste, and it's not what people think it is.
No.
And I don't know if that's just because of the way it looks or because of the way it's marketed, but it's extremely capable, but it's not what most people are expecting when they get it. So if you sort of change your perception a little bit and keep at it, I've found that it actually does end up being useful.
I would agree with that. I just picked up 2 Striders in a trade. I've been trying to get rid of a lot of my Striders, and they just start multiplying in my knife case. So I got this. The one is a really weird one.
You got fucking finessed on that trade.
Dude, no, I didn't.
Yes,
okay?
you did.
He was a very nice young man who bought my Jibble. He gave me some money. What did he do? Yeah, he gave me some money, and he sent me the No, wait, there was no money involved.
Yeah, there was no money. It was just the PT and the Dwayne Dwyer SNG, right?
Look, I'm just spreading the love around. I did something nice for the knife community.
You did do something nice because you got fucking took, my
Okay,
friend.
well, here's the irony about this. Okay, he put the edges on those two striders. He did a very good job. He used a wicked edge, and usually, like, my biggest problem with it is that a lot of people put that really steep. Here we go with the steep angles again, but this really steep edge on there, and they remove so much material. And they get it to look really shiny and showy, but it doesn't end up doing very much. But on these, it's a really nice working edge. And here's the most crazy thing ever, Dave. You will not believe it. That one with the Dwyer stepped handles, the SNG that I got with the number 46 SNG blade in it. That was actually the 46th production Strider blade put into some Dwyer handles by Dwayne himself, confirmed by Mick Strider. Anyway,
that's cool as like a historical thing.
As a Strider, for someone who's looking for a really cool piece of Strider history, it's neat. But here's the thing: it's actually one of the nicest SNGs I've handled. The lockup is perfect. It's like really smooth. Jake, would you agree?
It is.
It's phenomenal. I couldn't believe it. It's really nice. I would actually keep it and use it if I, wanted to. And the other one is just a production PT, which is like I compare it to a low mileage Jeep Wrangler. Like, they'll just never go down in value. So I think it was a good trade overall. I just got to find the right person for that SNG.
Yeah, you might be sitting on it for a while.
Yes.
Well, I mean, the problem is that it's not a normal Dwyer, so it's not made out of, like, I don't know, like the hull of a fucking ship from the 17th century or like the brake of a jet engine or some shit. I don't know.
Or a stale baguette from the back in the war.
Yeah, I heard for the Tactical Knife Invitational, he's bringing one where the handle is made out of a piece of the Berlin Wall.
Is that true?
No.
That would be
made it up just then, right on the spot.
Honest to God, that wouldn't surprise me. Didn't he did the Ducati brake rotor?
Yeah, he did the Ducati brake rotor.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I think he did like some of the wreckage of the Challenger or whatever.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of cool. I'm not going to lie.
I'm also lying about that.
From what I hear, Dwayne Dwyer is actually a really nice guy. I've never met him.
Yeah, he's certainly... He had some
You don't
problems
know?
there.
Did you ever meet him?
No, I didn't, but like... The whole Strider distancing himself from Dwayne because he wasn't handling the service properly.
Let's just be honest. They both are weird as fuck. Let's just excuse my French, but they are both very strange individuals.
I'd also like to point out that Levon said that. I had nothing to do with that comment. Don't kill me, Strider fanboys.
I don't say I don't like.
Allegedly.
I have like at this. Don't know. Okay, we're gonna try and get through an episode without saying that word. You can curse up a storm, but we're not saying that word.
The merch is gonna say allegedly.
No, it's not. I'm not doing it. It's not doing it.
It's going to be the Nemesis dagger with allegedly on the blade.
Oh, God. So anyway, I can say whatever I want about Strider at this point because I have 5 of them. Somehow, I tried to get rid of my Striders and end up multiplying them. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that happened to me. I had like 6 SNGs at one point, and they were all terrible.
I thought the PT would have sold immediately. I had a couple knives for sale. And do you know what sells first? My Rod Olson Gemini, the one that I kind of liked out of that list. I was like, I'll be okay if I end up with that. That's the first thing to sell.
The Gemini is nice, though.
It is very nice.
The 3.5 one is really nice, but
dude, this one with the 3-inch, I think it's amazing with that recurve, and it's light. I think it weighs 3.2 ounces.
Yeah, people just need to put in some kind of detent on
button locks.
On button locks, yeah, like Olishowitz did with the Hogue X5. Other people need. It doesn't seem like that difficult of a concept. You just put like a leaf with a ball detent and then drill a hole in the blade. Attach that leaf to the handle, like Emerson does with their safe detent, aka the useless second detent.
We're going to talk more about Emerson.
Yes, his blade show offerings.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So Brian, what did you see? I know you're not carrying anything. You're probably besides your ass home from Atlanta, but. Did you see anything of interest while you were over there?
Besides 10,000 greasy people?
Yes.
It's important to insult your fan base.
Let the hate flow out of you.
They know. They saw them, smelled them too. I don't. Yeah. Oh. So I didn't get a chance to really get away from my table till the last day. I had 2 knives left on the last day, And one of the dealers that's normally pretty good to me came over. I didn't really want to sell the dealers when I was there, but one of the dealers was that's, like I said, good to me. He came up and wanted to grab those, and I was like, fine. So I was able to at least walk around that last day and check out some stuff. But what ends up happening is you end up sitting and talking to people for an hour at a time, and I didn't wander too far.
Isn't everything pretty much done by Sunday in terms of like knife sales? Like all the makers people actually care about, so like the non-Tim Britons of the world.
It's so weird. It's so weird because you go in there Thursday morning to set up, and you're bombarded by people and dealers and whoever else that everybody and their brother has an exhibitor pass.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, because all the hype beasts are sucking the dicks of makers so that they can be like their, I don't know, assistant or some shit so they can get in early.
I understand it's part of the business, and I understand a lot of guys make their living that way. It's just, I think it's pretty unfair for people who fly down to Atlanta, spend money on to stay at the hotel is, $700 for the weekend there. All that cost involved, and you see people actually sleeping out online and shit. It's crazy, and all that dealing gets to go on ahead of time. So I'm probably going to be blackballed by everybody for saying that now. But
okay, so let me I don't know, smooth that out a little bit. So basically, people know people, so they get in a little earlier. Now,
right.
The real question is are they only competing with themselves at that point? Because I feel like everyone who's really going to go there and spend top dollar on knives is going to find a way to get into that show early.
Yeah, I think they do, because there's that many people in there the day before it opens up. It's unbelievable. And
it's like, how many people are going there cash in hand on Saturday, like that, on Saturday that weren't there early on Friday? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm not really. Saturday it seemed like there was a shitload of people there.
I don't think. I'm sure there's more traffic there, but how many of them are actually purchasing things? In the high dollar.
What's left to purchase, though?
Exactly. Yeah, there's that. But I mean, there'll probably be someone buying something at the ZT booth or one of the many We Knives things, like the 120 things that We Knives announced at Blade Show.
Yeah, but like now even the VIP passes seem kind of pointless because getting in 2 hours early doesn't even seem like it offers you enough.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so many people in there. Before the VIPs, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's like I can't even explain it. It's see the VIP people running in when they open the doors. It's like, are you kidding me? It's gone already.
Yeah, this is why I don't play the custom knife game, and I'm actually quite happy about it for that reason.
And I agree with both of you, and I just have a different outlook on all of it. None of it is for me an investment. I buy what I love, and that's what I think is great about the custom knife world. It's just there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into these things, and I can really appreciate the craftsmanship of it. And the idea of buying and selling and trading just allows me to see more knives, handle more of them, because you kind of want to try out stuff. At this point, I kind of know what I like, so I don't buy up everything at this point, but I can see both sides of how that works. And don't get me wrong, there's shitty people everywhere. So, and I can imagine in a show that big, there's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But there's also a ton of good stuff.
Yeah.
And there's
a lot of talented people out there.
Tons of great stuff. And when I say shit, I just mean people.
Yeah, there's definitely shitty people.
Yeah, but at the very least, you could walk out with something designed with that. Who is that? That Isham
Bladeworks.
Isham Bladeworks design that like everyone seemed to have.
Yep, it's hot in the streets. Lexiconian not gonna be happy.
Is there anyone else that's not going to be happy about that design?
Ooh.
Brian,
let me sip on some tea here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably another guy who's not too happy. There's it seems like and it's funny that you mentioned him because I think it was the second night in the pit. I met him and we talked a little bit, and we were just standing around, and I happened to say to him, I said, "What's the deal with having multiple manufacturers make your knife?" Then he kind of, he was very polite up to that point, and then he kind of got a little seemed like he got a little pissed and kind of turned and walked away. He said they weren't the same, and then got a little pissy and walked away.
Oh.
So apparently he's probably hearing some heat about that too. But it's not only him. There's a couple makers that seem to be doing that stuff, having the same knife made by different people.
Yeah, the Gavco spinner. I guess when a design's hot, it's hot, and you try and cash in on that. But it is really weird. The Gavco spinner one is the weirdest one because the custom knife factory version came out of essentially nowhere, and I'm just like, here's a spinner.
There's a custom knife factory.
Yeah, there's a custom knife factory version of it that has like milled handles, but it's like a black wash on the handles and on the blade, but then the flats are satin. And it came out of fucking nowhere. It's like, did you not plan this out at all? Because Ferrum Forge just released theirs, and everybody I think was done with that design, and you just come in with it again. Yeah, it's really weird. I don't think we've ever kind of seen this before with multiple companies.
I'm curious to see how it's going to play out. Is it going to work or not?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. The only person I can think of is Rick Hinderer selling his designs to every company. Because he had Gerber's.
That almost makes sense because they're across different price ranges and things like that.
True.
With this Isham, the Isham Blade Works design, the one that's in question. What is that blade called? The one that We Knives did.
The Eschaton?
Okay. So a very unique knife. I mean, really, I admire the fact that it got turned from a piece of paper or whatever he was using to a physical object.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's got a lot of similar manufacturers making something in the same price range using the same materials. Am I wrong, but Browse Blades, didn't they do one that looks exactly like that?
No, it's coming out soon, but that's what Brian was talking about before.
Right, I know. I was trying to get
Yeah, he's trying to get me to say the name. I'm not saying nothing.
Yeah.
Well, you're not saying anything bad about Browse. It's nothing bad about Browse.
Yeah, no.
I'm not saying can I jump in and ask a question? Would you say that this trend is more like a wartime effort where they need more pieces than a factory can produce, and so they're letting other companies jump in and try to make the numbers? Or is it like a lazy thing that they're just reusing a design, or is it just that they need that many of them?
Well, I would imagine that it's all of the above. But go ahead, Brian.
Well, I know one of the manufacturers that was making it was kind of pissed off because apparently, from what he told me, is he paid for that design, and then behind his back he went and gave the design to somebody else.
Well,
so
Tashi's design, he has a lot of people make some of his designs that all look very similar to me. So I guess this isn't without precedent. I mean,
yeah, I don't get that either.
I can't tell most Tashi knives apart. I mean, sometimes the maker will do something that's differentiates it a little bit, but yeah, Tashi definitely does that too.
Yeah, but at the same time, to your point, Jake, is it like a wartime effort to get as many designs out there as possible? I do think that is a business model that a lot of companies are trying to do now. More specifically, the higher end Chinese manufacturers.
Yeah.
And I just brought up that We Knives. Did you see their catalog for Blade? The stuff that they announced at Blade.
They had at least 20 knives.
With the
they
amount
didn't bother naming them.
With the amount of profit they're making on their knives, because we already figured out by what they're doing that they can make knives pretty damn cheap.
Mm-hmm.
They can afford to blow out designs and this one failed. Who gives a shit? We know we have more that did well.
20 of them anyway.
Yeah, I mean they've only done one run of each one, so they've made X amount of pieces and then stopped and moved on to the next one. So yeah, they can just keep going because it's like pop music. If you have a single that doesn't chart, you just come out with something as soon as possible. It's basically how Future makes his music, and 0% of our demographic knows who Future is.
They should do a now that's what we call knives.
There could be so much trash knives that we can put on there that did not land.
It would be amazing. I could see the infomercial now.
Like everything that won an award last year at Blade. In the production knives. Production knives.
I didn't win an award last year. I was sick.
Okay, yeah, they were trash then. Everything was trash.
How cool would it be if you could buy a box set of knives and get a Nemesis dagger?
No,
I guess if you sold enough of them, it could be pretty cool.
Right, you got to get the people who make the knives that they sell on TV to make one so that the person can do a spine whack on the table and the blade breaks and stabs him in the fucking chest.
Just give it to Gallagher and have him... Wait, is he dead? He might be dead.
No, I think someone bought Gallagher's shtick and there's a new Gallagher.
Oh, Gallagher 2.0?
I'm pretty sure there's a Gallagher 2.0. Someone bought the fucking Sledgehammer and Watermelon Act from him.
How do you like up the ante on the Gallagher act? Do you like start bringing in like live mice or
live
something?
animals. You start
Live
bashing
animals?
No.
pigs' heads on stage.
No, you bring in Will Keith to do it, and he takes one of his shitty surds. And
Oh
it's
my
like-
god! I want our viewers to know. I want our listeners to know that I did reach out to Will Keith to have him come on to this show, the Fat Swordsman himself,
Yo,
and he has not responded.
Will Keith, if you're listening right now, if you don't do that, I will go to your house and not allegedly kill you. I will kill you if you do not show up on this podcast.
I can't believe you said that. I told you not to say that word. Anyway,
I love him.
I love him too. The other, oh man, that last video that he posted is amazing. I'm gonna plug him again. Go, everybody who likes knives, go watch the Fat Swordsman on YouTube.
He is the final evolution of the knife nut. Like all of the neck grease that we were talking about, that is its final form.
I must have seen him 10,000 times at that show this weekend.
Hello, Brian. Can I handle your swords?
You Serge.
Yeah. What would happen if they had Blade and like Maryland Death Fest, but it moved to Atlanta, so you had a huge metal festival and Blade in the same weekend? I think the air would be like toxic. It'd be like Beijing. You wouldn't be able to breathe without a face mask
Honestly,
on.
And Dave, don't even act like you wouldn't go to that freaking festival, because that sounds like the most amazing time in the world.
That sounds incredible. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that would be amazing. Maryland Death Fest was the same, wasn't it? The same week? It was this past weekend.
I thought Maryland Death Fest was over. I thought it died.
Or whatever. No, I think it's still there. It just happened.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Shout out to them.
Right. Okay, there's our metal reference for this episode.
No, I have a better one. No, it's not really that great, but where should we go? What else is
who else came out with knives at Blade? Let's see. So ZT showed nothing.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I haven't seen a single video from like Blade HQ or anybody
Like nothing of
showing
interest.
their table.
There was some mid-year stuff from Spyderco that looked okay.
You know what? Can we talk about the Spyderco stuff actually?
Absolutely, Jake. I'm sure you're very excited right now.
Saying yay inside my head.
One of my favorite videos that I've done for my YouTube channel, or one that I enjoyed the most, was the catalog review of the 2017 Spyderco catalog, and I shit
Everything
on it.
to scale. Everything to scale. Everyone needs to start doing that.
That is
so
actually
useful.
I mean,
It's awesome.
I hated most of the knives that are being presented and the terrible like art, but obviously the drawn to scale thing is useful. I am actually really excited about the stuff that they showed. I am not a Spyderco hater. I just didn't like what they showed at first, but I'm actually really excited about this stuff.
Oh my god, the Lil Native.
Yeah, in the
and
3 different locks.
The shaman. And that shaman.
Yeah,
This is the time to mention that I bought the Lil Nalaka. And
Yeah,
I have it in the white G10 mini.
that is such a weird
version of
knife.
the Nalaka, and
That's a
I kinda
pointless
love it.
knife.
Yeah, what inspired
is.
you to buy that, Jake? Because that is such a weird knife.
Flash batch, whatever flash.
Their
batch means.
marketing got him really good.
Yeah, seriously.
So I have a very fond memory of my first sprint run ever. It was a gift from my wife and kind of an accident that worked out to be very fun and neat, and yeah, so it's just a fond memory. So this is like a new version of sprint run, and I made my own fond memory. I bought it for myself for
those of you
for
guys
Father's Day / birthday or something.
And for those of you that don't know, a sprint run is basically a limited run of an already existing Spyderco design, like the Paramilitary 2 or the Paramilitary 2.
And the flash batch is a slightly more exclusive version where it's a design that's never been made before and that they're not going to make again.
But I also argued that something they just made. They're just going to make as many of those as they think they can sell.
Yeah.
And for a little tiny knife with a liner lock.
That particular one is numbered.
Oh.
So we know, and Sal confirmed on Blade Forums that there's 1,200.
That's way more than I thought they would make of that, because that is a polarizing little knife.
Yeah, and I guess because they've already swore to never make it again, they wanted to just crank out a good enough number.
Is it S30V still?
No, that one is RWL34.
Oh, that's a good steel. That probably has more edge stability because there's less like vanadium and carbides. But yeah, because does it have a full zero grind? Because I remember they came out with the Nalaka and it had the zero grind, and then they had to put a secondary bevel on it because they were getting eaten up. Like they were getting destroyed.
It definitely has a secondary bevel.
I have both of them sitting right next to each other.
Oh, you have the full size Nalaka?
One is heading to Great Britain later this week. So,
Okay.
I have to say the full size one.
Oh, look.
It's a pretty nice knife.
Yeah. I didn't think I would like it, but
No, me neither. It's nice.
there it was in my mailbox, and it's nice.
The one thing I will say about the Taichung Spydercos is that they always have that fucking trash can finish on the liners. Like the edges of them are polished, and then the inside looks so terrible, like worse than Emerson liners.
It's like they don't realize that people are going to see it with that giant cutout.
Exactly,
And
it's so trash.
They
Okay,
also have the sharpest edge on the hole.
Spidey.
Oh my god,
Yeah, you can cut your thumb on those things. I always have to knock the edge down a little bit.
Yeah, they don't knock the edge off on the liners either. So those you can use to start fires.
It's like it's a little DIY.
Yeah.
The funniest thing about that little Nalaka and Jake generally was that when I first arrived and he was like, "All right, did you wash your hands?" And I'm like, "Why? What?"
Because this is white G10.
Oh my god, he would not let me touch it because I didn't wash my hands. And now the knife is in his pocket and like gets lost in like the baby's food and in the couch and down the dog's throat and passed through his digestive system. So it all worked out. So now he's actually carrying that little Nalaka and using it, which is good.
Yeah, it's a weird little knife. I'm glad someone bought one. I never would have.
Yeah.
Guess how many stains the white G10 has?
A lot.
Oh yeah, they apparently when you polish it or whatever they did to that G10, it doesn't pick up
stain.
color like Is your Olamic? You have a white G10 Olamic. Is that picking up all kinds of? The worst was the jeans. The blue ink from jeans.
Yeah.
Stained
I know what you're saying,
all
but
my knives.
But this is what I told you. I said that white G10 still looks pristine.
It does.
On my Olamic and your Nalaka. Perfect.
Oh, see, I thought the Olamic was taking a bunch of stains.
No, the one that did. Do you remember that sprint the sprint run Manix 2 in crewwear?
Yeah, with the gray.
Gray.
Yeah, the gray.
I do.
That thing just soaked up blue dye.
I loved the quilted pattern they did on the handles on the.
It was a nice knife
on that crewwear Manix. The closest thing I have to white G10 is a white Juma overlay on white G10 on my Emerson Iron Dragon, and maybe because it's polished, but that has never taken any colors or stained at all.
I've lost so much respect for you for most of that statement, but the standout is that you own an Emerson.
Yeah, the Iron Dragon is the only Emerson worth owning, and it's still wildly overpriced, but it's a very cool design. And the Juma handles look much better than the original G10. You've seen this one before, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Are you going to send it to me now?
Okay, I mean, this one's actually decently made for an Emerson, which could also be our segue. I mean, I did want to say how much I like the Shaman and the...
Yeah, I still want to talk a little bit about
then
this
we'll get into Emerson. Okay.
A couple of the sprint runs that are coming out around... I've been holding off on getting a Para 3. I actually got to handle one recently, and it is as good as you would imagine. What a fantastic little knife.
Is it better than the Sage 5, though? Because it's basically the same knife with just slightly different ergonomics.
The ergonomics are better than a Sage 5.
Okay. I like
Definitely.
the Sage series. It's back when I carried knives that were actually legal in Rhode Island. I had a Sage. I actually like that a lot.
Sage is great. I have a Sage. What do I have? A Sage 1, Jake? Is that what I have?
Yeah, carbon.
Yeah, that's the one I had, was a Sage 1.
Mm-hmm. And I had it too, the titanium frame lock one.
That's right. That was a nice one.
I want to get the 5
good.
a little bit, because I love the compression lock, but now that they have bigger knives come in the compression lock,
You got to try that Para 3. But
Maybe.
they're coming out with that in a couple of sprint run steels. Well, not some are sprint runs. I don't know.
No,
some are production.
the S110V is production. The Max or the Maximet or Crewwear I believe it's
There's a
Crewware.
Maximate and a Crewware. It's two different knives.
Oh, so I'm looking at the catalog now. There's a Para 3 in S110V. That's going to be production. An S90V one with carbon fiber handles. That's going to be Sprint
run.
And then the Crewware one in gray handles, which is Sprint.
But if you read the description in that catalog, it describes it as Maximate. No, it describes it as Crewware, but the blade is labeled.
The blade, yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say. For a second, I thought they had fixed it, but no, it's
still labeled Maximate.
wrong in the catalog. The Crewware description is using a picture of a
but
blade
there's
that says Maximate.
maybe it's just a Photoshop blade of the Para 2 in Maximate because that is coming out.
Well, either way, the Levon and I have a fantastically horrible, depressing story about Maximate that led me to believe that I think we both deserve a Maximate PM3.
Is it?
Regarding
It's
ordering
ZT
a ZT 888 and
Oh,
waiting
yeah,
a
never
year
getting the
for it
Maximate
and
ones.
Maximate, and then they showed up and they weren't Maximate,
Yeah.
and that was, I think that was the moment when I realized that I had become a full and complete knife nut when that was actually upsetting.
depressing.
That was really depressing.
Yeah.
And every time I hear Maximate, a tear and.
It is kind of crazy that Spyderco is coming out with a production. So the Para 2 seems to be in the production side. So it's going to be a production paramilitary 2 in Maximate. That's pretty wild.
That's what I'm saying. I think that
It's a
the Maximate
production
models.
PM3.
Yeah, the PM3 and the PM2 are going to be production in Maximate, and the Crewwares are Sprint runs.
All right.
Which really contradicts everything we had heard about the complications of using Maximate as a production blade steel.
I don't believe
The
any of these.
machining and the hardening and
I don't believe any of these fucking knife
Rockwell.
companies when they try and talk about how hard things are or how expensive it was. Like Spydercos have all gone up crazy in price in the last couple of years because they say tooling costs. Well, that's always the answer: is tooling costs. ZT never complains about the tooling costs, but then ZT was like, no, this Maximate blade is impossible to make knives out of, and now Spyderco is making production knives out of it. I don't believe any of them.
yeah, and they stopped right in the middle of the production of the 888 and switchblade steels, which
Yeah.
still seems.
I agree, but I'm just happy we got those 888s
Yeah.
at all. You know.
Yeah.
And
True.
M390.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What else
they
is
were
coming out? Yeah, so they have the 2 compression flippers as well that we have the specs on now and the prices.
What is one called? It's got like a really weird Jim Henson-y name.
There's the Hannon and the Sliver Axe. The
The
Sliver Axe.
Sliver Axe. Doesn't that sound like a Dark Crystal like character?
Yes, yeah, it does.
It's the Skexes and the Sliver Axe.
But it's only $150, and
That's really
it's S30V. It's the fake carbon fiber, but it's a nice design. I'm excited about that one. And then there's the Southern, the Hannon with the G10 and bolsters. That's gonna be
Hannen.
more Hannen, yeah. But
Jake and I were going through that catalog, and we couldn't believe some of the knives that they still make. You know, and Dave, you and I were talking about this with ZT's catalog. I can't believe they still make the ZT 300 and the 350.
yeah, this is like
But-
it's been a million years. People who wanted those knives have already gotten them, and if you haven't, like, what's been stopping you for the last 10 years?
It's like, you know what I really need is a recurved Tiger Stripe spring-assisted titanium frame lock.
Oh no, those are steel. Those are steel.
No.
Steel liners.
No.
Oh, you're talking about the 350. Yeah, we're talking about the 300.
350 is a steel. The 300 is a titanium frame lock.
Yeah. That shit.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the 350.
Both.
Sorry.
We were talking about both of them.
So that shit looks super dated to us now. That's exactly what all of the like biomechanical designs that are coming out now will look like in an equal amount of time.
And you know that what we were talking about in the Spyderco catalog was the original Southern Flipper, which
Yeah.
was like the second coming.
Of Christ himself.
Yes, I was trying to avoid that, but you just went there.
Yeah. What year was that? Where everyone needed to have that?
2012.
Yeah, that was 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing, and by 2012 standards, it was decent, but now in retrospect, I'm like, holy shit, that was not a very good flipper. It was a bad
I love
knife.
it. Does anyone notice how quiet Brian's been this whole time?
It's okay, let him recover.
Production's not his thing.
I was just waiting for his little avatar to go unmute because he's getting ready to curse me out.
Nah, this is my element. I'm glad we're talking about production knives.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're saving it because we're going to talk a lot about Brian in a few.
The plunge line on the Hannon or Hannen is just, I don't like it. It's got this
Don't
like
buy it.
45-degree angle, and there's no sharpening choil. It's not good.
Here's why it's pointless to criticize any Spyderco design, because on the next page of the catalog, there's going to be something that you love.
Yeah, Yeah, because the shaman is on the next page, so I agree.
That thing is badass.
Yes, I'm very excited about that.
That's a really cool knife.
It's basically just an SNG that is better in every conceivable way than an SNG. I challenge someone to disprove that to me.
So, well, we don't know yet because we haven't handled it.
They would have to fuck it up so badly for it not to be better than the SNG.
And it's not like they haven't fucked stuff up in the past.
Oh, they definitely have. See also The Advocate.
Right, anyway. So that was actually supposed to be more like an SNG than we know. It was supposed to have a Reeve integral lock.
Yeah, I saw that.
Before they decided to go compression. We watched the same video, yeah.
Yep.
Play HQ.
Yep. But I just like I think the big chamfers, the rounded chamfers, I have that on a Les George knife, and those are just super comfortable. And the non peel ply G10, the polished G10 just looks nice. I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah, it should be nice. At least, you know what it is? I'm glad that they went that route because it really makes it much more of a Spyderco.
Yeah.
Like, much more unique. I mean, I'm definitely going to have to.
It's only $150 too. No
fucking way.
Yep. That's pretty crazy.
You're going to have to beep all my F-bombs today.
No, I'm not beeping shit. So, yeah, no, I am excited about it. The only thing that's kind of turning me off is a personal thing. The clip apparently is unique. If you saw that Blade HQ video, it's not their normal, triangle clip, the screw orientation. So someone's going to have to make a deep carry clip for me eventually because it just rides a little too high for my standards right now.
You're so annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I work in an environment where I don't really want to advertise that I have a knife.
So put the fucking thing in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly. No. What are you?
Take the clip
What are you,
off.
a charlatan? Who carries knives in their pocket without the clip? Jesus Christ! I'm quitting this podcast.
Like, who's gonna look in your pocket and say, "Is that a knife?" No one's gonna even do that.
I've 100% had people do that before. When the knife actually sticks out of your pocket enough, I've had people ask, like, "What is that?" Then what do you do?
I'm not saying you should carry a cold steel Talwar, but if you're carrying like freaking, just a normal 3.5-inch flipper, who's gonna say something to you?
You'd be surprised.
No, I wouldn't.
Years ago, I went to a gun show that Levon did not attend, and he gave me carte blanche. He said, up to like $150 or whatever, just get me something, and I'll give you the cash when you get home. And I was like, are you sure you don't want to give me any kind of instruction? He's like, just whatever, just get something different or weird or cool. And I came home with an 84-inch cold steel Talwar, and I've never heard the end of it. Like, he waited a year to start complaining, and then the complaining reached a pinnacle last week when he left it at my house and was like, this is yours now. It's like the ultimate FU.
Definitely not an FU. I like that knife. I never complained about it. You're just making for good radio right now. There was never a complaint.
If it was a video, everyone would know. It's true.
There wasn't a complaint, but he mentioned it for a reason.
Yeah, speaking of Cold Steel, were they at were they there? I think I saw...
he's just walking around there.
Yeah, I thought I saw Lynn Thompson walking around with Andrew Demko on his gimp leash, trailing
I didn't see him,
behind him.
but I believe he was there.
Yeah.
There was jokes in there. A gimp leash was probably right.
He looked just so defeated in the picture that I saw. It was Lynn Thompson holding some Chinese knife, and then just Demko is in the background, and he just looked miserable.
It's like, I've signed a deal with the devil.
No, he absolutely has. The true modern Faust story is Andrew Demko and Cold Steel.
That's true.
But yeah,
and 16 dead donkeys.
Yes, I was gonna say it's like Jesus into Galilee.
If we keep talking about this, PETA might get on their ass about these dead donkeys.
That's true. And we were talking about Gallagher smashing small mammals.
Oh god. That's Lynn Thompson. They're gonna debut a new war club or something, and he's gonna smash a donkey's head with it.
Oh god!
And then give the donkey meat to a homeless shelter.
Yes, all that meat did good.
Putting this out there, I can at least speak for three of us that we're animal lovers. We're just gonna put that out there.
I honestly I can't not laugh when I think about the homeless shelter getting the meat from them.
I know. It's like, what do they do? It's like, just throw it in the pot. It's just, they just have a cauldron with random animal pieces.
Yes. Knife Nuts Podcast, your first source for animal genocide topics.
Yes. And I love how we didn't even preface that. Yeah, everybody's seen those Cold Steel videos.
Yeah,
everybody.
We should start a band called Donkey Genocide.
We just did.
It just happened.
Good enough
Yeah.
for me.
Done.
All right. That'll be who does the intro music when we eventually get intro music for the podcast.
I'm working on it. I'm
Okay.
2
He's
steps
not-
closer than I was a month ago.
All right. Well, Donkey Genocide will release its first track soon.
Okay, so we're done with the spider code talk.
Yeah. Do we
What's
want to
the-
move on to Emerson? Because when you were insulting
All
the
right.
Iron Dragon.
Okay, all right, your Iron Dragon. Let's talk about what Ernie Emerson brought to Blade Show this year. And basically, he brought nothing but a load of ballad-song versions of his existing catalog.
Correct.
And that's basically the best way I can describe it. So
Yes.
wave openers, flipper tabs, and everything on ballad songs.
Correct. Yeah. So in academia, there's like this pejorative phrase that's used to describe older academics who like only ever research the same topic, and they say they're slicing the bologna ever thinner because they just keep trying to do the exact same thing with slight changes, and that is literally what Emerson Knives has done for the last 10 years.
And then they just sprinkled in some Phillips head screws, and there you go.
Oh God. It's so bad. So I saw a YouTube comment for the interview with him where it said, it's an Emerson knife when you feel it because it feels like someone made it with their toes. These knives are, first, they're going to be expensive as shit. I can guarantee that. They're all blade shapes
Right.
people have already seen, and I can almost assume that they're not going to be good flippers for, the ballad song people who like that.
Because we're all really big ballad song people, and we know
Yes.
a lot about ballad songs.
Well, if you judge by the Instagram comments, the ballad song community is incredibly vocal about this stuff,
Oh yeah, they're terrifying. They
Yes.
actually scare me.
which is why I don't even know why companies bother trying to make these knives at this point, because you can't ever please them.
Brian's working on a ballad song right now.
Is he really?
Yeah,
With an integrated spinner.
I'm trying to get him. He's just there. He is. What are you gonna say?
Nothing. I was just getting prepared.
That was a deep breath.
I figured Dave was going to come in and say. I figured you were trying to get him to. Oh God, here we go. Fuck! What? You caught me off guard, dude.
I know that was intentional, but yeah, Brian's not working on a.
Oh, okay, thank God.
I do have one drawn, and I would be interested in making one at some point just to try it out.
Are they? Oh, quick question for you, Brian, as a maker. Are they harder to make than folding knives? Is there some reason why they're so expensive?
I haven't made one yet. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I figured. Your best
I mean,
guess.
looking at it, no, I would say they're, it should be pretty simple.
Okay.
I mean, not having to deal with and worry about that lockup is a nice.
Yeah,
nice thing
because
to
Benchmade
do it.
just released like that, the newest one, the 67 maybe, and that thing is like $510.
My biggest problem with them is every time I see people using them, I'm sorry, they try to look cool, but they look like tools.
Yes.
Are they all just? I'm sure
they're all young
cool.
guys. They're all young, skinny guys. Oh no, there's some meatballs too, but they just look like fools doing it. The most pathetic thing I saw, and they love it, but not this year. I think it was last year, or the year before. Out when you go to Blade Show, out of the pit area, out in front of the hotel, across the street, there's a park, and that's basically where all the heads go.
right.
And one of the heads that we're walking with, we walk across the street, and we see like 50 of them all like up on these stairs, and they're all spinning together, and it's just
Oh
like,
God.
oh my, it's weird, it's awkward.
Can I?
Blade
Let
HQ
me.
sponsored something like that this year,
They
didn't they?
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask them about that when they're on the podcast.
Yeah, seriously. We're gonna have a lot of ballad song themed content coming in later episodes somehow.
Yeah, I have to agree. What do you think the correlation between fedora wearers and ballad song spinners are?
Oh, huge! It's the same category.
I'd say it's like, yeah, that's a real strong correlation. I feel very confident about that one.
How about this? Who has ever seen a ballad song cut something?
I had that Tachyon 3 and it cut like shit.
That's a nice ballad song.
It was a
though.
really nice ballad song, but it was a really terrible knife.
But I'm just saying, have you ever seen any of these kids and meatballs ever cut anything with
No,
a ballad
they're just
song?
toys.
Yeah, like I just think it's interesting. Like I've never seen them use it as a knife. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but I've just
No, I don't want to put them in the category of filthy casuals because you know how I feel about them. But I would say ballad song people aren't really knife people. They don't really care about like the stuff that we care about.
I mean,
I don't know.
willing.
I don't know
I'm
enough
willing
about
to
it.
agree. I like. I mean, I can appreciate a balisong.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the most
You
expensive knife I had for a while was one. But
I think the image on Instagram is very different than the image on, say, Jersey Devil, for instance, the forum, which
Yeah.
I used to be somewhat active on, and I check every now and then. But on that forum, there's a good amount of crossover,
yeah,
and it doesn't seem like that's the case anywhere else. It does seem like there's a pretty great divide between Balisong and all the other collectors. But
yep.
I don't know. Check Jersey Devil.
You know,
Who
I
knows?
might feel different about it too if they were flipping one of mine.
Very
But
true.
when it's not one of mine, you know.
Suddenly that grease would be like cologne.
No, you would think there would be
Exactly.
some added danger with all that neck grease, and you're like, flipping something around like that. Someone's gonna get a knife to the chest.
Speaking of which, I don't know how we have enough room in here with Brian's ego.
Ooh.
But you know what? Not to say that it's not deserved, because
Yeah, in his
Brian did
defense.
take home. In his defense,
Three best ofs is
You're talking to the motherfucking Michael Jordan of knife making. Three-peat. 3 ranks.
three.
Why do you say I
That's
have an
right.
ego though? I don't think I have an ego.
I'm just messing with you, dude.
You
you
don't
wouldn't
know.
know
You
if
don't
you
have-
did. By the way, it would be
Come on.
so
I
genuine.
think if anybody knows, I know they're fucking knives. We're not rocket science. It's not rocket science. We're not splitting atoms. We're not curing cancer. Unfortunately, because of so many of these knife makers get all these followers kissing their ass, these guys think that they're something. And in the real world, we're nothing.
But what about Lucas Burnley?
The memes were on point for him.
Yeah, I love that. That was really funny.
The
I
brawl.
didn't see any of it.
It was they showed a picture of what
One
kids at,
Direction.
like a One Direction concert, and
Yeah.
it was like the Lucas Burnley line. Oh, that was funny. I don't care who you are.
I didn't see any of that stuff. The internet connection and the connections there, they're just it's you. Unfortunately, the whole weekend I had such a hard time trying to keep up with that and people, and it's it's a nightmare.
Yeah. Speaking of Burnley, how much did that side pop end up going for? Because it was $4,300 fucking dollars. Like last I checked,
No one knows.
No, that's nuts. That aggravates the fuck out of me.
it was a nuck, and it was selling for more than his Quaken, which was actually like a very nice looking custom knife, and it was like $1,000 less in the bids. It's just wild to me that people are still on that.
Speaking of ridiculous $1,000 knives that shouldn't cost $1,000, how about that Ultratech I sent you before the show?
Yeah, what the fuck is happening there?
Everybody who knows me knows that I'm like one of the biggest Star Wars nerds on the freaking planet, and I love everything Star Wars. And I have the basic Star Wars Ultratechs. I have all of them except for my Yoda one. I can't find it. I don't know where it went. Anyway, if you took my Yoda, I'm coming for you. But they released they have the Sith Lord, which is, they're all like regular, maybe a little bit more than your average Ultratech in price. It's got the red blade and things like that. It's pretty cool. But they released a carbon fiber bodied one.
No, it's only the front scale is carbon fiber.
The front scale is carbon fiber. It has,
Bullshit.
it has the aluminum backside. It has the red blade with the part with one side being serrated, which is pretty cool. And it has a lanyard and a really weird looking Darth Vader-esque bead that looks like it was molded off an action figure bought at a dollar store.
Yeah, it looks like the Walmart version of Darth Vader.
Yeah, it's like the quote unquote "we're not getting sued" version of Darth Vader on the thing. So anyway, they won $1,000 for this thing.
Yes.
Well, I don't know what it cost at the show. I should be
Well,
clear about that.
can we also talk about the fact that is that the serial number? Some part of it in the Monkey Edge photos is badly like MS painted out. I don't know if it's the serial numbers or if it's like a reference to. Oh yeah, it's a serial number. I thought it was like a Star Wars reference that they were trying to remove.
And I guess it's called it's called LV or something. Lord
It
Vader.
says Lord Vader limited edition. I guess that's not copyrighted. Lord Vader, Darth Vader.
Well, that's what I'm telling you is that is not, even the little bead is not actually Darth Vader. It's like
No.
it's
Dark Vader, the Walmart brand, the True Value version of Darth Vader.
Bart Slater or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't believe that's $1,000. How many are there? I wonder. There's got to be more than one.
I saw a couple people with them. Yeah.
People bought them.
Yeah, it's a production blade too. It's not like it's a hand ground.
It says custom shop, but I don't really know what Microtech's custom shop is because I've never heard them use that terminology before. But I don't know. That's a Monkey Edge thing. They would have a custom limited edition like that.
Okay, so even if it was $8.99 everywhere else, it's still a lot for that knife.
It's way too much. Although, it could be worse something when Disney totally dicks them with the lawsuit.
I'm still waiting for that to happen.
It's coming.
What else did we see? I'm trying to think of what else I saw on Instagram regarding the Blade Show.
I didn't see anything from Benchmade either. I don't know if they did anything.
Can I talk about the Benchmade Anthem for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Jake and I actually got to handle that at Country Knives of all places, which is a place that I kind of put on blast.
Yeah, how was the trip there?
Honestly, you know what? It was very pleasant.
Yeah.
And, I can't say their pricing is out of control, but and I said this before too, like more power to them. If they can stay in business with those kind of prices, then great. But our trip there was actually really nice. It's a family-run business. It looks like they keep it all, and they really genuinely do keep it all in the family. And everyone there is pleasant and is excited to talk to people who actually know about knives for the most part. And they had the Benchmade Anthem there, and I actually got to handle it. And I have to say, nicest Benchmade I've ever handled.
That's interesting.
Bar none.
I've heard completely mixed things about that. I've heard people say it was incredible, and then people have been very disappointed with the problem.
No, let's be clear with what I'm saying. It's the best Benchmade I've ever handled.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. That's not saying very much. You know what I mean?
No, it certainly is not.
Is it worth paying $450 for? I don't know. I like what they did with the Axis lock. Yeah. I mean, it looks nice. I mean, but
did I tell you about the post on the Benchmade forum where someone was complaining about like the gritty action and wanting to replace the ball bearings, and the Benchmade rep didn't say anything about the knife. They just gave him the specs of the ball bearings, which I feel like says so much about that. Not like, oh, we'll take this into consideration, fix it. It's just like, yeah, here's the size if you want to replace them.
I need to know like what situation occurs where you think, oh yeah, the bearings must need to be replaced.
Yeah, people love to think that bearings and like washers make a knife. Like they really are convinced that these are like make the biggest deal.
I mean, Epic Snuggle Bunny had one. He said he had some minor gripes with it, but nothing that was, I've seen people talk about them being off center, and that can be an issue with an integral knife with an Axis lock. There's no real way to tweak it to get it back to center. Yeah, but it doesn't really have, even that doesn't really affect it because Axis lock and
because the Axis lock.
And but other things just like I remember I had a Benchmade Gold Class 940.
Yeah, I remember that.
Nice knife.
That's what I was going to ask you. Was it nicer than your Gold Class?
I think that the action was nicer than the Gold Class 940.
All Axis lock knives feel so cheap to me because every single one feels exactly the same.
I agree. It does feel different. It doesn't. I mean, obviously you're going through the same motion. It's the actual touch points are the same, but an actual feel, it did feel much more premium.
I really do want to handle
very
one.
clicky, solid, smooth. It's on the fact that it's on bearings gives it a little bit of a unique feel compared to most. But I just want to say that is a decent knife, and I know that's something that they're tooting right now. It's good to see another manufacturer try to step up their game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that they're actually doing something that's kind of like, with what the market is actually going towards right now.
I'm trying to think if there are any custom knives that I really saw that I needed to have or handle or see at Blade Show. And it's funny, I'm in a weird position to where I'm close with a lot of the makers that I really admire, like Brian's work, John Gray, even Sebastian. He's far away. I have one of a Stitch already, and of course I want that new stuff like the Nemesis dagger. Some of John Gray's splitters that he took there with him are really, really cool. I definitely want a mini Stitch, but I'm trying to think if there's anything that I really, really like. Oh, you know what? There is something. Brian Tye did that integral. Was it a tiebreaker?
It's tiebreaker auto.
There's an auto, and he did. Didn't he do?
Did he do a non-auto version?
I think he did a custom. There. So here's the cool thing, that the auto version is a production knife.
Is it?
Yes. So that's under the Tye and Friends label. So that is an
Oh,
integral
shit, it is.
automatic production knife.
Oh,
Very
whoa.
cool.
I did not.
Yeah.
I did not put that together. I assume that was a custom.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that won a freaking award. You can't say that that's bullshit because that is awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
Brian, did you?
It is
you
very
see
nice that he got the award posthumously.
No, I didn't see it.
That of all the knives there, I think that would have been one that you would want to see because it's pretty cool.
It did win the most innovative American design as well.
There you go. Hey Brian, why didn't you win that award?
That's a production knife one.
Maybe no, never mind.
You're gonna branch out next year.
I would have tried it.
I know you could have.
There's a lot of things I'd like to do that just don't. There's no reason to justify doing that kind of work. But maybe that'll excite me a little bit.
So, well, I mean, you have to be feeling inspired after. I mean, that thing got. It wasn't just us. Like that Nemesis dagger probably stole the show for a lot of people.
I tell you what, there was so many makers, like, top guys that came by to see that thing specifically. I was like this, so I felt pretty good.
I'm glad.
Well deserved.
So I was on pins and needles waiting by the phone to see. I knew when you were entering it and stuff like that. I remember I sent you a text and you said you were going into the room now, and I was like, oh God. Then I didn't hear from you, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I don't want to like talk. I don't want to text him because like, what if he lost? He's going to be in a bad freaking mood. So, and then I see the post on Instagram with everybody else, and I was ecstatic for you, and I think we all were.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, it was. I was happy. That's for sure.
Can you describe what it was like this year? Did you see what was your competition like?
I didn't see. I got there pretty early and left pretty early, so I didn't really see how many knives and what knives were there. There was a couple knives on the table when I put mine down, and I didn't recognize who they were. One of the judges came to me later though and said, there was nothing even close.
Nice.
I mean, that's just what he said. I was like, that made me feel good. But again, I don't know what was there, so it's hard for me to really tell.
And I'll tell you, like, and honestly, I can't remember if we cut this when we started this before, but when Jake and I went last week and handled the thing, we both came away knowing that knife was badass.
One thing that aggravated me a little bit is I went into the room when it's all done. They open the doors. They were in there for a couple hours doing this, and you go in and you go up to the table where your knife was. And if it's not there, it's on the winner's table. So I go up, my knife isn't there. I'm like, nice. So I wait for, a couple of the guys to go up and get their awards, and they take your picture. And oh my God, by the way, this picture I saw of me is so horrible. It's oh my God. So
I need to give me the link so I can use it for the Photoshop for this episode.
Sure. It's probably gonna be in Blade magazine, so you'll see it.
Good thing no one reads magazines anymore.
Yeah, especially Blade.
Why we talk about that? You heard my story. Should we tell my story that most people probably don't? No. You know what? I'm not gonna leave that one for another time.
No,
okay, wait. So I go up to the table and I talked to Steve Shackelford. He's the editor of Blade, and he tells you, yeah, you're one, and he takes your picture, gives you an award. Well, while he's taking my picture, he said to me, Les told me he gave you that design.
You have to tell people who Les is.
Okay, I'm sorry. So Les Robertson is a dealer that I used, not so much lately, but a couple years ago he bought a lot of my stuff, and about a year into knife making, he said to me, why don't you make a dagger? Why don't you make a dagger? And I said, I have one designed, but it doesn't work for my process. So I kept putting it off. He had nothing to do with the design or anything like that. He just told me to make a dagger. And again, I already had it designed. I had, 400
yeah, absolutely.
That I wanted to go.
Yep. And I remember, and I remember even specifically early last summer when we were talking, it was like, I think it was a good time to do a dagger, and that's when you were agreeing with, that's when you decided to do it.
Yeah, I mean, because there was, again, in my process, the way I do things, the dagger, that double-sided grind, it kills me. It doesn't lend itself to my process. So I was like, that's bullshit, So I was a little pissed about that. I saw him later on. I was going to call him out on it, but I didn't even open my mouth. It's not even worth it. Just, I know it's my design. He had nothing to do with it, so what the hell?
It definitely is your design. There's no question about that. It's funny because he probably doesn't even listen to podcasts. He's probably more of a magazine person.
Well, since he works for them, yes.
Perfect. Let's see. But I mean, that had to feel good. I mean, I bet the heat, the heat was off of you after that. After you won.
I got to relax, I got to relax a little bit after that. It didn't matter if I sold a knife after that point, I did what I wanted to do.
But you did sell everything, it seems.
Yes.
So you did really pretty. You did great. I'm glad you did.
I didn't. I didn't sell everything. I brought a bunch of talons, and I think I sold 2 of those. And, and I was practically giving them away, and so that was kind of weird. Normally, there's always guys with $100 at the end that want to buy some stupid bullshit,
Oh my god! The knife world's dirty secrets coming out on this podcast.
Yep.
Interesting. But that being said, the Talon is actually a pretty cool little tool.
Yeah,
I think it is. I think it is.
I still want one.
Oh, you didn't get one when you were here?
No, we started talking about it, and then we got sidetracked by the beauty of the dagger. I don't know.
After handling all 3 of those, I got to tell you, the one that you entered was probably my favorite.
The all gray one?
The all gray one.
I like the all gray one, but I tell you what, this one with the Damasteel is.
Oh yeah. I mean, that thing
was my favorite.
You should feel it now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Probably
sounds like an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Every time somebody picked it up, I was like, "It's double edged. Watch out! Watch out!" And still, people, the first thing they do when they go to try to close it is put their finger on the edge.
Yep.
But nobody cut themselves the whole time.
I feel like I picked up on the intake pretty good on that thing, like using that other the other tab. As the closing mechanism.
Fortunately, it's so pretty that as soon as you pick it up, your brain just tells you to be gentle with it. So when you do stick your finger on the edge,
you're not.
It's not an instantaneous cut. It's
like almost like an honor to be cut by it.
Yeah, it's the knife I'm going to use to kill myself on our 100th episode.
All right.
I think I've pointed that out before, but when we make it to episode 100, I commit ritual suicide with the Nemesis.
The Harikari jokes come up. Yeah, perfect. But yeah, that is definitely the knife that I was most excited about.
Too bad we'll never.
It does
get
sound
one.
a little biased, but yeah, right.
That was what surprised me about it is even if I stepped out of my bias because he's a fellow podcast host or whatever, that was still my favorite knife. And I tried to be critical. I tried to give some sort of constructive feedback, and I was like, I just came up short.
I mean, it is incredibly nice.
Close to perfect. The Damasteel one for me in particular had just the right amount of contrast, and it just came together just right.
I was definitely, but I feel like I would have to have 2 of them, and I think that's what happened. Didn't the same guy end up with both?
The first auction that I put up the week before Blade, Crispy Tortilla. He's an Instagram guy.
That is not,
of course.
That is not as Crispy Tortilla.
Yo, this is what happened when middle-aged men
like
join Instagram. They have no idea what an internet handle is.
I think he's pretty young actually.
Oh damn! There goes me assuming.
When I say young, I don't mean like 18. I mean, I don't know how old, but he's way younger than me. I think.
Fuck it, Crispy Tortilla it is.
He's wealthy. I mean, he must have. Maybe he invented the Crispy Tortilla.
Apparently, he's not even in the country right now. So he has a mini Typhoon waiting for him at his house that he hasn't seen yet, and then he bid and won that first dagger, the one that was blue that I screwed up and I refinished and then swapped out the blade on, and then. Now he won this one.
Damn.
This one went off at 10 o'clock on Friday night. So I was in the pit. I wanted to be, so some of the guys can be there when it's going off. And one of the guys who's been trying to buy up some of my better stuff, he was there and he was bidding on it for a while, and then it just got out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about finally breaking like the 3,000 auction price? You're finally an Instagram hype beast.
This is the first. This is the first knife I've ever sold that's ever come close to that. That at least I feel like. To me, really, $3,000 is crazy for any knife. But I'm not scared to send him this one for that kind of money.
Yeah.
before, I mean, when I was selling knives in the beginning for $750, every knife I sent out, I was waiting to get the call back. Oh, this sucks, and I was always scared. And then when you started getting, then when the knife prices started getting wild, and some of my prices started getting up there, I didn't want to send somebody a knife. I felt like they're going to be too critical on me for that kind of price, But I don't know. I never had any problems or issues. But again, this is the first time I've sent one
marbles
out.
right now.
What the fuck is that in the background?
I'm muted. There's children up there. I don't know what they're doing.
Okay, that's a fair excuse.
Scream like I did before.
Too bad that was on the podcast.
Oh, that was so good. Yeah, but we're just really happy for you. I think that you definitely earned it. That knife turned out to be better than any of us even could have imagined. I mean, it's really a great piece, and we congratulate you on the winning.
Thank you. Let's see how many other people make them now.
When do you get invited to TKI?
Probably never, because me and Steve Delac kind of don't make me go there. Let's just say it's not going to happen.
All right, I respect that.
What if R.J. Martin was running the show?
What is the R.J. Martin deal? I feel like he comes up in every episode in reference to Brian.
I know. You know why? Because the first year that I won, R.J. had his new pivotless pivot.
Yeah.
And he entered that, and I think the guy won it like 13 years in a row or whatever. So when I came in and I won, I don't know. I never saw him, and I've talked to him before. He's always been nice to me, but I heard he was pissed.
Oh, okay.
Now I don't know how true that is, but listen to this. I have a funny story for this time. That one guy that I was telling you that stopped by my table and was bidding on my knife. We talked quite a bit. Really nice guy, and he went over to see RJ, and he was looking at RJ had his Oculus dagger there. Apparently,
his custom dagger. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he only had one, and it was like $4,000.
A table price, not an auction.
Right.
Yeah, people's table prices are getting wild.
Yeah, his table price was over $4,000.
Yeah, that's crazy. But so while the guy is sitting there trying to flip it, apparently there was an issue with it or something, or was something was wrong with it at that point. Another guy walked up to the table and said to RJ, now this is all hearsay. This is just a story I was told. But another guy walks up to RJ and says, yeah, there's a guy over there selling a dagger that looks just like yours. And he goes, oh, yeah? Who's that? He goes, Brian Nadeau. And RJ goes, never heard of him.
Damn.
I was like, I laughed my ass off.
That is...
RJ Martin, you don't want beef.
Plus, I'm looking at the dagger now. Also, he doesn't have like a full picture of it at all. He only has pictures of pieces of it on Instagram. So I couldn't tell anyone, give them a point of reference on what this knife looks like. I mean, first off, everyone's dagger looks like a dagger. I'm going to put that out there. There are certain shapes in the knife world, kind of like in the watch world. There's a dive watch. There's a pilot watch. A pilot watch is always going to look like an IWC Big Pilot. A dive watch is always going to look like a Rolex
a
Submariner.
Subhill fighter is always going to
yes.
Yeah, there's certain things and a dagger is one of those. If you want it to look like a dagger. I mean, there's some guys that I think that change up the shape of the blade and stuff, and I don't really like it. I'm like that long, slender, sexy look. But I don't think. I mean, I only saw a picture of his once and held his once in a New York show. I don't even know what it looks like, so I couldn't tell you. When I do when I design my stuff, I don't look at anybody else's work, and I don't know half these friggin' people what they're doing anyway.
Brian's like barely a knife maker at this point.
I'm a knife maker. I don't look at what that's what it aggravates me, because you go to the shows, and I know it's because it's a tight knit community. But everybody's in and knows everybody's shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like I talked to Nick, because Nick's NCC Knives, and
he's young and naive.
He's not that he's naive. I mean, of course, when you're young, you're naive to a certain extent. Yes,
I'm just picking on him. He's a very nice kid.
But
Nick, I love you, buddy.
He is a perfect example. the way all these young guys are. They just know everything, and they all talk about everything together, and everything is like, it's to me, just do your shit and be, why get involved in everybody else's shit? I don't know.
Yeah, except for
I'm just an old
Lucas
man,
Berman.
I guess.
Yeah.
The drama gets out of control.
And it's funny, it's the only industry I know of where the buyers are as in on the bullshit as the actual makers and manufacturers.
It's a very weird dynamic.
And I had just today I had someone, I went to the Iron Maiden and Ghost concert this past weekend here in Philadelphia, and obviously I can't take a knife into the stadium, but I did get I'm not a big like knife curio type person, but I got my John Gray keeper, which I actually use to keep my keys on my belt loop. I use it as a bottle opener. It actually has some sort of purpose, right? And I actually got that into the concert, and I saw the guy like going through you have to it's like going to the airport to go to a concert now. So like take your shoes off. I didn't have to take my shoes off. I'm exaggerating, but you did have to put everything in your pockets into like a tray and go through a metal detector and get there. So I was really excited that I was able to get my Nook into the stadium, and I took a picture of it while Iron Maiden was setting up, and I was like, look what I got in here. And I got a comment from someone saying, what the hell is that? And he had found that post by going through a bunch of other things, a couple other posts of looking at these Nucks, these keepers, and ended back on my page and said, I've just gotten into the knife community by watching Forged in Fire, and I'm just like in awe of everything I'm seeing. And I think it's funny for me to just see someone who's at the very precipice of seeing this world of shit that is going through, and all of this just from looking at a picture of a Nuck at a concert. It really just put things in perspective for me. I know that was a really wordy story, but you get the idea. I mean, really, really weird.
Yeah,
there are some accessories that don't make sense to me. I think that's kind of what you're getting at, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like all Nucks, but oh well. Yeah, on the custom knife front, so I know I don't care much for custom knives, but did you guys see the Shirogorov collaborations that were teased there? They weren't for sale.
I don't think I saw the Shirogorov.
No, so they have one with Brad Southern, the flipping Tanto, which they've shown before.
Bunch of times.
Yeah, but
like
now,
2 years in a row.
Now they have one with John Barker, and it's the Hokkaido, but it's made by Shirogorov, and it looks ridiculously nice.
I mean, not to change the subject, but some of the new the Sinkovich pieces.
Yeah, they also have a Sinkovich collaboration coming out with Sigma.
Goodness.
Sinkovich is so good. He is so talented.
Very good stuff. Yeah, I'm looking at the Shirogorov stuff now. It's really
the
cool.
Hokkaido collaboration looks. I mean, just their machining just always looks so clean to me. I always dig their aesthetic. I think they do a great job. These knives, God knows where these will go. I mean, actually, I know exactly. They're going to go behind the Iron Curtain.
Yeah, it's just knives I'll never touch, so it's like not even worth looking at.
That Maria woman with like the knives on her thighs that dudes jerk off to will probably have most of these.
Are you calling me fat?
Meatball.
Yeah, Brian, you need to start taking seductive pictures of knives on your legs.
Nah, that won't sell any, that's for sure.
But she does have some sharp by design pieces, doesn't she?
She does.
She does.
And apparently, that guy that I was telling you about that bit on all my knives, he contacted her to try to get one of those fancier pieces that I had, but she wouldn't let it go.
Yeah,
she wouldn't sell it. Wow.
Oh.
That's for sale on her page, though. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's there. Like,
I don't know if it's personal collection or what's for sale. Like, I don't get it.
I don't know.
No, but
my third dagger went to Russia too.
That's never coming back.
No.
Good riddance.
Some oligarchs got that now.
I'm trying to think. What else did I saw? There's got to be something else that I saw that's pretty cool.
The Riat knives with the Damasteel and the Mokutai were actually not as crazily priced as I expected. Yeah, I remember, like, was it last year or 2 years ago where they were selling, like, Damasteel and Mokutai ones for, like, $1,000, and this year they were, like, $695. So, progress. Slow progress, but progress.
Mm,
Yeah.
doesn't make me feel better.
No, it's still crazy for a production knife. Then Richard Wu from Reich showed the 2.5 inch or 2.3 inch bladed integral that he's making, and then the 1.5 inch blade, ridiculously tiny knife. The man is
those tiny things.
He is on his own planet making knives for himself and no one else, and just, maybe if someone buys them, that's okay, but like I respect that he just does not give a shit.
Honest to
about what
God,
people
I think
want.
that was my favorite Reich design, was that tiny little Dama steel thing.
Yeah, the guy doesn't give a fuck about selling knives. He just makes them. I love it.
I'm sure he gives a fuck about selling knives.
Who's buying them? No one buys them. You never hear anything about it. He doesn't know. He's no marketing. He makes the weirdest color choices. They're always weird. And yeah,
It's because he sells most of them through AliExpress.
Nah, only some of them. But I don't know. Maybe people in Russia are buying them or something. That's my only guess. Go. Yes, but yeah, I don't know.
How you doing, Russia? We love you.
Yeah, shout out to you guys. You're buying up all the good knives.
If
true.
If you get a chance, Russia, I would like my 3 Harkins Tritons back that I regret selling.
I sent a whole bunch of cool stuff to Russia. I can't remember what knives I had. Oh, they keep hitting me up for my Hydra.
Yeah.
I say they collectively.
The entire nation.
Yes.
It probably all goes to the same guy. It seems like the few knives that I've had people buy from me that were going to Russia, they all go to like the same distributor or some shit out in California. Because multiple people have sent them to the same guy.
Is it Sacco from Recon 1? Because I know he has a pretty tight relationship. Okay.
Ernesto something.
Oh.
I gotta start swinging that Armenian thing around.
Yeah, you're pretty much almost there. I don't know. There's a lot of
What the
Russian.
hell are you talking
I'd
about?
say you swing that thing around a couple of times. It didn't do any good.
Hey, look, it got us a cab ride when we were 20 some years old, and in the middle of friggin' Ocean City, Maryland.
Are you saying that you exchanged sex for a cab ride
That
in
is what he
Maryland?
said.
That is what it sounded like.
That is...
But no,
That's what I got out of it.
I'm half Armenian.
Are you telling me
That's
you
the whole
banged an
thing.
Armenian cab driver for a ride?
Oh, you're killing me.
Damn.
Sure, if that makes this interesting.
I mean, it
That's
certainly does.
What it sounded like you were saying.
The story did need a little something
bit.
extra.
No, that's true. No, we were. What happened? Well, we were. The cab guy was Armenian. I was Armenian. He didn't charge us a fare.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
You were wasted, but you were there.
Well, if we were in Ocean City, there's only one reason that we would be in Ocean City, Maryland, and maybe 2. I was going to say revisiting Senior Week, which I did like 5 or 6 times until it got a little creepy. I was like 23 years old.
Jake has an interesting memory when it comes to like how long we've known each other. It's actually been like 10 years, maybe more than that, maybe more than 10 years. I'll give him more than 10 years. But he seems to expect me to remember things that happened to him when he was like 12 years old.
Yep. and I still expect you to remember.
It's like, you remember that time in high school? No, dude. No, I don't. Anyway.
Yeah, just to be clear, there was no sexual favors exchanged with an Armenian man for a cab ride?
We'll leave that up. That's for you to decide.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
That'll be the mystery for next week's episode.
Yeah, choose your own adventure.
Perfect.
In a cab.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If-
I don't know. I got to start throwing around my Judaism with these Israeli makers.
You gotta. You know what, man? As an Armenian, I consider myself tribe.
Yeah. Shabbat shalom to all my chosen people out there. What's good? Lee Lerman didn't go to Blade, did he? Speaking of my chosen people. Oh.
No.
That's quite a trip. So I don't blame him.
That would be. It's like, and especially if you're going to come to the United States, it's like you're going to go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
to get
Seriously.
molested
not.
by knife collectors. I feel like he's one of those Burnley types who would probably get molested there.
Yeah. Someone said that Blade was
a lot of
moving.
hands.
Someone said that Blade was moving to downtown Atlanta next year. There's a rumor. I don't know.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know how that
I
really
sure
affects things.
hope not. I'm already booked my hotel stay at the same place.
Yeah, this is knife community rumors, so who knows? Probably not.
Oh, no, it was pretty cool there that this Japanese guy was selling these knives that he makes out of quartz and these different rocks
Oh shit.
that he grinds to like clear edges where you can like see light through and stuff. Now I'm not talking for something you use.
Yeah.
But they were
Yeah.
pretty neat.
Was this the guy on Instagram who had just started collecting your stuff real heavy recently, and he got Typhoon and one of those as well? I think I commented on his. He got a Typhoon, some.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, some rock, and then a pipe. I think was his.
What's
call
his?
from
Do you
there.
guys remember anything about his username?
No.
Oh,
But if you scroll forever, I commented on his picture.
I know what you're talking about because back in the day, I want to say like for knife rights, Doug Ritter had a knife with an obsidian blade made, and yeah, it's really cool.
And then someone used it as a pry bar.
Just shatters immediately.
Was it chipped or was it ground?
I think it was probably chipped, if I had to guess.
Yeah, see, these were ground.
I don't
Supposedly, he uses like a handheld grinder, like
Whoa.
you would for like the body of a car.
Yeah.
Sure.
And like a disc grinder,
Wow.
like just 4-inch wheels, and that's what he uses to grind them.
That's cool because obsidian can get like the thinnest edge,
Yeah,
thinner than any
terrifying.
metal. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's cool.
Like I'm picturing someone making a flipper with a stop pin, and just like
it just smashes through the stop pin.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's good.
It's the things that knife people find amusing.
I have heard that there's a lot of weird stuff at Blade like that, like people making knives out of rocks. So that doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah. There are people that do a lot of weird shit there, but some of it's good.
I'm curious about the weirder shit that isn't good.
It's true. I mean, what was the weirdest thing you saw there, Brian? There had to be something.
Come back to me about that. Let me think about it.
Tim Britton
you think-
standing in front of his table, rearranging his knives, even though no one was touching them.
Why do you always come down on that poor old man?
Poor
Yeah.
Tim Britt.
Because he got outed for such a huge fraud that he tried to perpetrate, and it was so embarrassing how bad.
Know
it
how
was.
many other guys are doing the same shit?
Yeah, but he tried to
Yeah,
get like
so-
U.S. Customs involved, and then like there was literally just one document that was like, "Yeah, nah, you signed a contract, you fucked up."
It just said D's knives.
yeah,
Oh man.
yeah. The Tim Britton story is great. That's such a good one. And his stuff, his stuff is all made in China. Even his custom knives. He owns a company that imports the
Kaiser?
products.
Isn't
No.
it just Kaiser?
No. He has a company that imports stuff from China, and people have claimed allegedly. Sorry, I didn't say that before. That his slip joints are also made with like Chinese parts. But no, the whole Kaiser thing, you can look that up online. The facts are out there. But that was hilarious when he tried to get customs involved, even though he was lying. That's really committing to a lie, which like I respect, because most people won't go that far.
We're all such savory people this evening.
Yeah. This has been a spicy episode. I don't even remember what stupid shit we said earlier that's going to cause a problem. Oh, you want to cause more problems? How about we run down the Blade Show award winners, the production ones, at least.
Yes.
These are fun
yes.
because I can.
Some meat.
I'm gonna skip the knife of the year because I'm gonna roll that into the Wing Ding of the Week segment. But 2017 American Made Knife of the Year, Spartan Blade Kronos.
Yeah, honestly, I think that deserved it.
Yeah, it actually looks really good. I hope it doesn't suck because I've heard the Akribis isn't great, or maybe they worked it out, but I've heard that some of their knives are not
The
particularly
Akribis
good.
was like the first one.
Yeah.
It didn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
The one that came after it was not so much to look at, but it was a very good knife.
Which one? The
was the-
Palace, the button lock?
I can't remember. It was the one that came right after the Akribis.
There's
Hold on.
the Metis flipper, which I think is incredibly unattractive looking. Like,
Meatus.
oh god, it's such an ugly design.
That is called the meatus. I
yeah.
mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yes, but either way,
Wait,
they
they won last
decent
year.
company, all USA made.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they won last year for the Spartan, the Harsey folder, which is like a William Harsey
that's
design.
the one that I was talking about.
Yeah, they won last year for that.
Very nice knife. Didn't do anything for me aesthetically.
No, it's
This one looks like it has some promise, and I think I might pick one up.
It's got a weird looking dick clip though.
And the blade
It
shape is
does.
a little bit like a little utilitarian for such a crazy handle.
It is a very crazy handle. I mean, it looks very impressively machined. It does
Yeah,
have.
I mean, it looks good.
I think Benchmade is going to be upset and might get into a dick measuring contest with their pocket clips here because it is also very phallic in nature.
I don't understand like how people can keep making penis-shaped pocket clips.
I I also find it funny.
Maybe
that
there's
people
just
find a problem
something
with it.
wrong with us where we just see penises everywhere.
I don't see a problem with it. Like, they really don't look that much like dicks to me, but like people really get mad about it.
I never got the Benchmade one. Never looked penisy to me.
It's really funny that a community where it involves thousands of guys being all sweaty sitting in a room together would be so offended by a dick-shaped clip.
Yeah, seriously.
All right.
It is. The knife community is pretty much a giant sausage party.
It is unbelievably so. I apologize to all the women at Blade. They probably got creeped on so hard. The amount of fedoras that came up to them.
There was definitely a lot more this year. Like every year, 4 years ago when I went there was like 2 girls in the whole show.
I almost don't blame them.
Every year there's more and more. This year there was quite a lot.
Gun shows are the same way.
Yo,
I imagine like I could get a lot of my female friends to go purely based on the people watching.
yes, for certain. But like anytime like this has been a bad thing I've seen on the forums is anytime like a member like outs himself as a girl, they always get a lot of weird unwanted attention. And I feel
the leg
bad for
humpers.
it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, enter the leg humpers.
Yeah. I
It
feel
happens
bad.
in every industry.
Yeah.
My wife signed up for when we were Subaru people when.
Oh
when
jeez, yeah.
I forget if I posted the first one or if she did, but my God.
Yeah, how many
leg
guys with
humpers.
flat-brimmed hats tried to slide into her DMs like, hey.
I don't know however many members there were.
Yeah, I feel bad.
But on the on the forum and on Nasdaq there's like 350,000 active members. So
Yeah, it's
a lot of
a
leg
nightmare
humping going on.
Yeah, it's a nightmare being a girl in a male-dominated hobby. But continuing, 2017 imported knife of the year. It's the CRKT Crossbones. It's based off a Jeff Park design. It's very Quakenish.
That's a head scratcher to me. It really is. I mean, that thing just looks kind of tiny, and I mean, I've held the custom one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the mid-tech.
Yeah.
Nice knives. Can't go wrong. I just don't know how. It just doesn't seem. I don't know how that won of all the things.
There is so much competition in that category. I think this
seriously.
year. So I'm with you on this one. Although I used to be a big CRKT fan.
Yeah.
Many years ago.
This one's also it's $60.
MSRP $99.99. So,
yeah, it's $60 retail with AUS 8 and aluminum handles with a stainless steel liner.
I mean, there's just so much that you can get.
There
in that
are
price.
better knives coming from Chinese OEMs for cheaper. That Rake P801 I have blows that thing out of the water. The CRKT.
That $25. I can't even remember the
T-cut?
brand.
The
Tech Cut.
T-cut.
Yeah.
Tech-cut.
Yeah,
That's a better knife.
I think that was also made by Real Steel.
that needs attention for innovation because that adjustable pocket clip actually works, and it works very well. And it seems like an insane place to unveil such a neat little innovation.
Right? Jake,
on like a $25.
Hold that
knife.
thought because we'll get back to it very soon. All right, 2017 most innovative American design. We already said this Tiebreaker Integral Automatic, the production version from Brian Ty and Fred's. Very cool. Integral Auto.
Is that an aluminum frame?
It is
or
titanium.
It is titanium.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's almost like a must buy. That thing is sweet.
It might be a must buy, but what's the price going to be? Because the Brian Ty and Friends with G10 handles or with aluminum handles are like $375 with 154 cm. So who knows what this auto is going to be?
Did I hear you say though American design?
It is. He is Canadian.
Well,
I thought
well,
he's
no,
Canadian.
Hold up.
It could just be North
I already
America.
researched. I already researched.
They're
that.
made in.
They're made in the USA.
Yeah, they're made in the USA.
Okay.
But he is
so-
Canadian. Well, he is departed. So
He was Canadian.
The rumor of Brian Ty's death is starting here. We shouldn't do that.
R.I.P.
Brian Ty is alive and well.
No, we need to propagate the rumor and then have him on as a guest.
Yeah. R.I.P. Brian Ty. I'm glad you got this award posthumously. You deserve it.
Oh man, I don't know if I could even do a show with Brian Ty on here. I just feel like I was, talking to like my grandfather or something.
He's so cool.
I bet you he would do it because he's a good dude.
Yeah, I talked to him.
He is a nice guy.
I've talked to him on the phone before. I like
when he was busy, I hung out with his wife for a while because she was so excited. And even though he's been doing this for so long, she was still genuinely excited that there were people who were fans of his work.
Yes.
and that we were looking for him, and we wanted to talk to him about his designs and his career and everything. And she was just
I
absolutely.
felt like she was going to give us
so
some
happy.
like homemade preserves or something to take home.
Something in a jar for
Yes,
sure. She had jars in her trunk.
What a huge loss to the knife industry.
It's so sad he's gone.
Tragic.
Okay. Circling back around to Jake's point about that being the innovative design, the 2017 most innovative imported design is the motherfucking Sog Baton Q2.
Oh, Jake, you saw these things. I sent them to you. Do you remember?
I'm looking at it now. Is there at least like some AR tools in that thing or something?
I think it is basically a few multi-tools, and then it doubles as a prostate massager.
Oh, that's what the battery compartment's for. Gotcha.
All right.
Yes, so that one pocket clip is more impressive than this fucking. I don't
there
know.
are
baton?
now to be fair, there are a few versions of that thing.
Yeah,
Brian, did you see this thing? Do you know what we're talking about?
No idea.
it's a folding dildo.
So
He didn't
Sog,
even get to walk around Blade.
Oh, you mean the tactical spork?
No, it's worse. It's a tactical
I saw
dildo.
that.
a tactical sport.
Really a tactical dildo?
I mean, it could be.
That's what it looks like?
I mean, I'm sure it could be used as one.
What
The
does it
idea,
look-
It
it's
doesn't
a
look like anything.
it's a baton-shaped folding multi-tool. So it looks like something you could keep in like your pocket or something like that, like a front pocket, like a pen or something like that. And you unfold it, and it's got like some screwdrivers, a frozen yogurt machine. I don't know.
No,
got some-
fuck this, guys. Fuck this. The innovative imported design of the year is the motherfucking Kaiser rape whistle.
I was going to bring up the rape whistle. You stole my moment.
Yes, I did.
And it can match your Strider with its
It's a tactical rape whistle.
with
It's so
flame
incredible.
flame tie.
Yes. The tactical rape whistle was the most innovative imported design of the year.
It
Fuck
wasn't
Sog.
though. It wasn't though. You're just making that up.
No, it wasn't. It was the Sog Baton thing.
Right.
All right. Continuing. Best buy of the year, the Kershaw
Hey, here's-
Dividend.
Here's one that we probably can't disagree with too much.
Dividend's a nice knife. I mean,
Yeah.
I gave one away back when I thought giving something away was going to be a nice thing to do for people.
No.
But it just turns people into monsters, and I hate everyone. But either way, nice knife. You know what's a great knife for someone who isn't a knife person?
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah,
USA made.
It reminded me of when I first got into collecting. It was something actually made in America with decent steel for that price was really enticing, and I'm glad that they're still doing it.
It's a
And
nice
it was from
design.
Kershaw.
Yeah, nice design. You know, came with a knife. It came sharp.
It's 420 HC, right? Or is it 440C?
I think it's
Oh, I thought
440C.
I just assumed it would be Sandvik still.
No, I wish it was a Sandvik steel. If it was a Sandvik
it's
steel, it'd be
440C.
awesome.
But they're moving along with that 440C, and
No,
I've heard
it's
halfway,
420 HC. I'm looking up right now. Yeah, that's kind of a trash steel, but it's a good knife.
It's a good knife. I could see it being easy for someone to sharpen and keep and learn about knives.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the biggest thing. It's a good gateway knife for
All
somebody.
right, next one. 2017 Investor Collector Knife of the Year. This always goes to ProTech because they have those insanely embellished knives that they sell, and unsurprisingly, it went to the ProTech Cambria, which is a new design. It's a button lock
It's a
manual
button
flipper.
lock manual flipper,
And
right?
the non-embellished version of this knife actually looks pretty nice.
Well, what I saw was they're doing an aluminum version.
Yeah, that's the
and
normal
a
one.
steel version. There's no titanium one.
No, so they do the steel so that they can engrave it, and those are the
Engraved it.
expensive.
I get
yeah.
it, but they did the steel one with just plain steel handles.
Yeah, well, the aluminum one is already probably going to be so expensive that, like, who knows what a titanium one would cost.
Here's the most amazing thing to me. Have you guys ever seen a ProTech knife sell for any sort of appreciated amount of money?
No.
How can it win an award when as soon as you buy a ProTech, it's worthless?
Well, the thing is, somebody buys these, but then they just disappear.
Someone goes online and buys a ProTech.
I have
That's
no
like
idea.
How a joke starts.
If you go on Blade
There's
HQ,
got to be some history of appreciation in the brand or something to win this award. So, at least in my opinion,
I agree.
And so
And
I definitely don't understand this. So.
Nothing. I mean, there seem to be great knives, and I think some of their automatics are pretty cool looking.
well,
But I would never even think about uttering them in the same breath as collector or investor.
I mean, somebody buys these ones with the engraving and the like mammoth tooth. Like I'm looking at this really nice
that one was how much was that one? The one with the don't get me wrong, beautiful engraving was very nice. I think they wanted like $3,700 for it.
Oh,
or something.
I have no idea what the price is, but it was probably
it was. I think it was like $3,700.
All right, yeah. I will.
But it is a manual flipper. A lot of people think that they only make autos, and they also re-released the Harkins design.
Yeah, the dual action.
That is actually a pretty cool knife.
Yeah, too bad
Jake, you would like that the double action.
Too bad it's like $400 or $500 at least.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not cheap, but that is a nice knife.
My Harkins were MOD, Masters of Defense, and they were very nicely made.
Oh, that's an old knife.
Yeah.
All right, we'll skip.
I'm an old collector. What can I say?
We'll skip Manufacturing Quality Award for now as well. Accessory of the Year, Wicked Edge Go. Is this like a portable Wicked Edge?
Yeah, I actually just saw this for the first time.
I had no idea what this was.
Not because it won this award, but just researching, considering upgrading my Wicked Edge arms to the ball joints. And it's available for pre-order right now for $150.
Wow!
And since it already has Heim joints, it seems like it's probably
it's only $150.
It's $150 for pre-order, and they said that it's going to be $199 after the pre-order is over, which is I think September is when it's shipping. But it's probably
really
the
cheap.
best. Yeah, for $150, it's probably the best. Probably will be the best sharpener you can get. I would imagine.
I might get that just to reprofile and then freehand the rest of my stuff.
It's interesting that we talk about sharpeners as being a deal at $150.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, compared to $350 for a standard Wicked Edge, or $325 for a standard Wicked Edge with those arms, which are becoming increasingly not up to the task for that.
This is a very niche thing, but have you guys seen the Tech Studio Profile? It's this knife sharpener out of Russia.
Oh my god, I thought we talked about that. If you asked me if I could have any sharpener, that's
the best one. But it's $700 for the biggest package. Yeah.
Brian, did you see that thing?
No, I didn't.
It's basically a combination of the Wicked Edge and the KME.
Brian just invented something similar a couple of years ago. No big deal.
It's just got a drawing of it sitting around.
Well, got to bring it to market.
No, his actual sharpener is uses a extra long arm to keep the radius constant, and it's it has some similarities.
Yeah, the Tech Studio is super nice, but apparently it just comes all fucked up because it comes in a crate from Russia, and I've heard all sorts of things about things being broken and stuff being missing.
Seen people who have bought it.
Yeah, this is this is Blade Forms. It's big on Blade Forms. There's a big thread on it.
How much is that system?
The cheapest one is $350, and that has almost nothing. The decent one is like $420. And LOL 420 blaze it. But you're getting silica carbide stones, which are good because they'll.
Oh no.
Silicon carbide will do any of the higher carbide steels. You don't necessarily need diamonds, but nevertheless, yeah, it's expensive. And then shipping is like not free. I think shipping's also like $75 or something because it's coming in a like army crate from Russia.
Yeah, it really looks like it was built during the Cold War, and they just found a container of them and they're selling them now. But I was hoping it was going to be cheap. That would have been a nice opportunity to try something different.
Yeah, I wanted to get one, but
I've already
too much.
invested too much in sharpener.
Yeah,
that's the biggest downside to the Wicked Edge is once you make that investment and buy a couple extra stones, you don't feel like you should have to buy anything else. You know what I mean?
But you do.
I mean, how much money do you think you have in the Wicked Edge at this point? Like over $600-$700?
Damn.
No, I don't know. Well, it was a gift, so the initial investment is neutral for me.
I'm in general, like when I say you have it,
Yeah. Well,
it's an expensive proposition.
Yeah. So without getting into a long conversation about sharpening, in my experience, I heavily subscribe to the cheating with sandpaper taped onto the paddles.
Yeah, you have to.
So I basically have a $1,200 system, by using $2 pieces of sandpaper and just a little bit of trial and error and figuring it out, and now I can do all the crazy fancy mirror edges and really whatever I want, using that I don't know, that cheat or whatever you want to call it. So
Yeah, Wicked Edges also hold their value pretty well if you want to sell it ever. I sold mine and bought just bench stones with it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Know how many of those diamond stones I've been through already?
I can only imagine.
I probably spent $2,000 on them already.
Yep.
oh my god.
Yeah. DMT is actually pretty local to me, which is nice because DMT stones often come fucked up. So you have to send them back pretty often because the diamonds are not embedded correctly, or diamond stones are not very good in general, aside from the Atoma ones from Japan. But continuing with the awards, collaboration of the year, Fox Knives MK Ultra, because we needed another knife with the same name as the Hoback one.
Yeah,
And this is a collaboration with the well-known Jason Knight and Doug Marcada, of course. Jason Knight and Doug Marcada, of course.
Cashing in on the
Who are these people?
Forged in Fire.
Oh yeah.
Are these Forge and Fire people? I don't watch Forge and Fire.
Doug Marcada.
I recognize that name.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the.
Oh, no wonder why this.
It'll kill.
Yeah, no wonder why this one. So they're kukris.
cut.
One is like a normal-sized kukri, like probably 10-inch blade. Another one looks like it has like a 3.75-inch blade, but it's a fixed blade, so it's useless because the kukri shape is actually not good for anything but chopping. And then one is a folder.
Yeah, the folder makes absolutely no sense to me.
No, it looks ridiculous.
I can't. So we have this blade and it folds in half, but when it's closed, it looks like a freaking pie plate.
Yeah, it's gigantic.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No, you know what's funny? The longest knife I've kept in my collection is a Himalayan Imports kukri.
Oh yeah.
That thing is incredible.
That's blade form specific for you.
Yeah.
I don't think they exist outside.
Shout out
the
to
weird,
Himalayan
the weird
Imports.
thing I wanted to mention on that photo is that the folder is bigger than the fixed blade, which doesn't seem right. But,
Nope.
Okay.
Because why do we need a folding? Cold Steel's already proven that we don't need a folding kukri once. So
Well, I'll tell you, the other guy, Jason Knight, is also the host of.
Oh, no wonder why. Yeah.
Because it's just the two guys from
So they had to win.
No.
Forge and Fire.
Ugh.
Because what do you call it? I think he replaced Jay Nielsen when Jay Nielsen had to have his hand surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's been back since then. I think they just
Added a fourth host or something.
they move him around now.
But
Yeah.
it is a travesty that the Zero Tolerance 850 didn't win. I mean, it was a Rexford Sinkovich collaboration with a production company. That should have
Which
won.
is pretty much the honeymoon. It's like the Brad Jelena of knives.
It is, it is the Hype Beast special. That should have
Yes.
won, but it did not. Kitchen Knife of the Year. I think Shun is the only one doing anything cool, so no
Yeah,
surprise.
seriously, no one else. And some custom makers.
Nobody
right?
else is actually even trying this shit. It has a ruby inserted into it. Why not? Of course, it has a ruby inserted into it.
It does look awesome.
You know what's funny is I have a knife with rubies in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the hawk, right?
Yes.
Deadlock?
Oh, you guys all knew. I thought I was gonna blow your
No,
minds.
I
but
mean,
didn't.
what other knives have rubies inlaid into them that aren't art knives?
Yeah, well, this was just to
Mike
stop
Gavick. Mike Gavick does it all the time.
Oh, yeah, he does. The ruby balls.
ruby balls.
Yes.
But on the Hawk, they're in the hardware,
Yeah.
basically blocking your torques from getting into the.
Which is funny because
the
now that was only on the prototype. Now he just he gives you
Yeah.
tools to take it
He
apart.
did a whole video explaining how it works and everything.
that was a dramatic change of heart.
Amazing. I think that was always the case. It was always what he wanted to do.
I want the
but-
hawk lock on more shit. Put the hawk lock on knives. It's awesome.
It's not the
And-
time
and
to
the
talk
clip.
about it, but at Blade Show they showed not Blade Show at Shot Show. Kershaw showed a manual flipper with the hawk lock that looked really nice.
The budget one, because it's still not out.
Budget. Yeah, budget.
That's the only knife that's not out, basically, from their budget knives that were revealed at SHOT Show. That thing.
It's funny how you like the hawk lock, but you can't stand the access lock.
The hawk lock has much better retention in the handle.
I mean, I do agree with you. And
That's-
so does the ball bearing lock by.
That's the big thing that I hate
Spider-Cat.
about the access lock is the lack of retention in the handle. So you get a real floppy D10. All right, now let's get to the
Real
awards
floppy.
that I've been avoiding because they are going to be the wingding of the week for episode. What is this? 5?
5.
Episode
I can't
5,
believe we
yeah.
made it this far.
Okay, Wingding of the Week for episode 5, the Blade Show episode, goes to the goddamn Blade Show I don't know who, the awards, the judges for these awards, for letting Lion Steel just absolutely fucking steal overall knife of the year with the Lion Steel SR11. It is horse shit, and I will not stand for this.
Okay, first off, he's only upset because, number one, Chris Reeve didn't win. Number two, it's because I called that shit.
Yes, you did. And I will flambe all these motherfuckers' asses. Okay, the Lion Steel SR11 is literally the Lion Steel SR1 with a flipper added to it. There's nothing innovative here. It's an integral. Everyone else has made an integral. Give it to fucking Benchmade this year. They made an integral. That's more impressive than this. Everyone has seen this. The design is old as shit. It's gonna be off-center. It's going to have a shitty D10. It's not gonna be worth the money. And somehow they get overall knife of the year with this. And this is the third one. They fucking stole it last year with the Metamorphosis, which was just the worst fucking thing that's ever happened to knives. It's pure cancer. And now they get it with the SR11, which is literally the most uninteresting thing. This is if ZT came out with an integral version of the 300 and submitted it and won. Nobody wants a 10-year-old fucking design.
This was a low-energy episode.
Yeah, you know what? Thanks for making me look like not the crazy one on the fucking bunch.
Seriously.
Yo, you want to go? Okay, Manufacturing Quality Award. I had 6 goddamn Lion Steel products. They've all been off-center or had shitty detents. I had 2 of those nothing fancy fucking purple SR1s.
That's your problem.
Shitty detent. No, it was a great configuration. It was purple handles with a Bowie blade. I think you actually would have liked them.
Oh, God.
They were. I mean, I hate nothing fancy, but he had slightly good taste in it. Still, one was off-center. The other had an incredibly weak detent. I had a Bastinelli Dragotech off-center. I had a DPX Hest Lockrock, and it was the Gen 2 version where that was supposedly fixed.
Hold up. Why would you keep buying them?
Because this is what happens. Why do you think I own 6 fucking Striders when they all had Lockrock too?
God. This is why you're the hater. You know that, right?
Yeah, well, because people are like, oh no, they've improved. Things are better. They win the Manufacturing Quality Award. Bullshit.
But you keep buying them.
I'm done. Yeah. I'm done. I might buy an SR11 to burn it.
Well, that was vigorous.
It comes with M&Ms.
It does. It just. Are you talking about the promo picture of it, just with like all those? And they're not even like M&Ms. They're like there's some knockoff Italian chocolate. It's probably better.
What? I didn't even notice that because I was too upset about the knife. What the fuck is happening in this display photo?
It's almost as bad as the last Spyderco catalog.
It's worse. That didn't win any awards.
That's true.
These motherfuckers. I'm renouncing my half Italian side. I'm sending my mom back to Italy.
Did Microtech show anything at this show?
Nah, there was like a fucking ghost town. I don't think they showed off anything new. Oh, they have the new SOCOM Elite, actually, which looks nice.
It looks the same as the old SOCOM Elite?
No, yeah, but it has Torx hardware now.
Oh.
It has Torx hardware, and it actually looks like... Wow. It looks nice. And Torx hardware.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
a novel concept.
It is wild. I can't believe how excited I am to say that.
That is actually a pretty exciting knife.
I think someone has it, and it's like $1,200 though. Blade Ops, I think, has
what?
it.
Oh,
yeah, it's the Marfione custom version, which is basically the production version with a slightly different grind. So who knows what the production version will be if there is one? But yeah, it actually.
I'm sure there will be.
It's 13.
It looks like it's
$1,350 actually.
It's still tipped down.
Yep, still tipped down.
What the hell? So they just use the same. It's the same molds they were using 25 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much. That's Microtech for you. No, I mean with knives.
Nice knife though. I have one from 1999 already. I don't think it's time
from the Vero Beach era.
Yes.
Damn.
Nice, awesome knife.
Yeah, those were really good back then.
Holy crap! What a knife.
Yeah.
I have a Halo from the same era.
Yeah, the Vero Beach stuff was really good.
Mine's older.
Yeah, yours is a year younger than mine.
97, 2 years.
Oh, wow. That is pretty crazy.
Hey, guys. Fuck Lion Steel. Chris Reeve, I'm still here for you, baby.
Yeah, Chris Reeve, man.
Gang.
Anyway. Oh, by the way, what did your boy do at Blade Show?
Oh.
Nothing.
Shit, the Inkosi with the Insingo blade. It's a big
God.
deal. It's a big
Maybe
deal for
that'd
my
be the
people.
Inkosi
The
I
most
get.
boring thing ever. Put their most useless knife with their most useless blade.
Whoa, the Inkosi is a great knife. No, the bigger version. This is the large Inkosi.
Oh, okay.
Large
See, every
Inkosi with the
time you say
Insingo
Inkosi-
blade, which is great.
Okay, that could make sense.
I will not send you my Inkosi. I won't send you that or my Insingo CRK, but I should to show you how great they are.
Before we started the show and you guys joined us, Jake and Brian, we were talking about doing a little knife swap.
A little wife swap? I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to
Well-
trade for my hand?
It's different from mine. Fuck yeah.
Yo,
This is just
this podcast is lit.
something's happening. But I'm gonna actually send you my mini typhoon.
Okay, I'll send you. I'm so scared of one of my Chris Reeves leaving me. Oh no.
Oh, it's not like you're right. What would ever happen? It's not like we could never replace it.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, no. Yeah. All right, I'm down. Let's do it. I probably should get my hand on a Sharp by Design knife eventually. It keeps me objective though, not owning one.
That's true. Let's see what else. How about can we find the other custom awards? I know this is something we should have done before.
Yeah, sure.
They're just below.
Yeah.
All that. Just keep
I just
scrolling.
don't know. Best new maker, Phil Jacob. I don't know who that is.
Hi Phil, how you doing, man? Welcome to the fold.
Good job, Phil.
Yeah, congrats.
Best fixed blade from Koss. I think they're Brazilian or Argentinian. They do ridiculously nice Hamones. Old people knives. Best folder, Glenn Waters. Don't know. Brian Nadeau, best tactical folder. That sounds familiar.
Who the fuck is that?
And then the only other one I know is best art knife is David Broadwell because he made the Technies, which was like his attempt at a tactical knife. But I don't really know these custom awards. They're more like traditional stuff.
And this is where it gets weird with the custom makers and how they. I think a lot of people are afraid to enter because they might lose.
Yeah, I don't know, Brian. Was there a lot of entries for some of these awards? Did you see?
Again, I was there early and left pretty early, so I don't know how many were on each table, but some of the tables had quite a bit.
Yeah.
One of the guys that won, I don't know who it was. He was in friggin' tears.
I mean, good for him.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was probably the best new maker guy that we don't know.
Whoever Phil Jacobs is.
Oh, Phil, we're gonna have
Shout out
on
to you, Phil
one of the
Jacob.
podcasts. I'm gonna look him up right now. Let's go see where he's at.
That's a good question. He's definitely not a tactical maker.
No.
Well, I wonder if he's making slip joints because, was that Jared Oser? That guy, he got popular recently, and his table price is like $2,000 now for his slip joints, which is wild.
Well,
Yeah, but slip joints are hot in the streets, so yeah, I don't know. Let's see, Phil Jacob knives. Let's see.
I can't find him.
That's not a good sign when you. Oh no, he makes traditional slip joint folders. I found him on Perry Knife Works, which is actually a somewhat local knife store to me.
I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yeah. All right, good for you, Phil.
No more
Jacobs.
slip joint talk.
Yeah,
no
I know.
more slip joint.
I don't really fuck with slip joints either.
Not that I have a problem with them, but they are kind of boring.
Correct.
Let's talk about the walk and talk.
Yo, don't ever go in the traditional forum on Blade forums. Just asking for trouble.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you see these people who've been on Blade forums since like '97, but you've never seen them post anywhere but the traditional forums. It's like, who are these people?
They've been carrying the same case knife around for 45
They have a
years.
wild, like, outdated avatar. That shit is like 30 pixels by 30 pixels. And it's like
Oh
a cat.
yes.
1,200 posts in the what makes a good traditional Barlow thread,
Yes.
which is every time you click on new posts,
Yep.
it's in like the top 10
Yep.
for about 5 years now.
Yeah, it's crazy. The traditional, do not go near the traditional forum. It's like like Lion King, the Shadowlands. You must never go here. It is a
like-
weird place.
There's our Disney
It's like-
reference. We're almost done now.
Let's just see if we can just type in the word jig bone and see how many posts come up.
No, what you have to do is you have to arm yourself with butterscotch candies so you can throw them at people to keep them at bay for when you accidentally mistake a Barlow for a peanut.
Werther's Originals and slip joints.
I just received a jig bone piece this week, which I've never. I don't think I've ever been able to say that before. But one of the many Spydercos that's heading to Great Britain is the
Damn.
titanium jig bone Damascus
I hate
Delica.
that. I hate that knife. It is hideous.
You know what? I never would have. I was confused when he first mentioned it because in the pictures it looks like what were they doing?
Yes.
And then in the hand you're like, oh, okay.
Well, no, the Delica's nice.
It's
just
nice.
the materials are
nice.
just so bizarre.
It's hard to make jig bone not look like fecal matter. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. What's that thing where people are afraid of like patterns of circles?
Oh, that doesn't exist.
The trypophobia. That's me and jig bone.
That's a millennial thing.
It is.
That people think.
That shit grosses me out.
Dude, just because it makes you feel uncomfortable doesn't mean you have a legit.
No, it's not a legit phobia. It is just a unattractive.
It's an unattractive pattern.
It is a very unattractive pattern. That's all I think about when I see jig bone.
Ugh.
And crater patterns.
Yes. Hot hammered finish. Does that bother you?
I just don't like it. I think it looks. It takes away the lines of the knife because it just softens all of them.
I mean, I'm with you.
And everyone says it looks better in person, but I don't get how.
I think Epic Snuggle Bunny said that too.
Yeah.
He said he had handled one. He said it looked good in person.
I don't know. People go nuts for them, so y'all can keep that shit.
I mean, I've handled some Rexfords. Nice knives. Can't go wrong. I've never handled any of the hot hammered or.
Does Todd Rexford take a private jet to Blade at this point?
He probably is not even there. He sends like a doppelganger. It's like
you make $30,000 on one knife. You can afford to charter a jet there.
It's probably true. And someone else probably charters the jet for him. The person who buys the $30,000 knife.
The Russian oligarch who also pees on him afterwards.
We're talking about people urinating on Todd Rexford.
Yeah, I mean,
the podcast that goes there.
That is.
I love you, Todd Rexford. I'm just kidding.
That he's definitely not listening.
No, he is. You think he listens to peasant things like the internet? He probably doesn't even know what the internet is.
That's true.
He's like on the level of Kanye West, where he doesn't realize that like people exist outside of the world because he's selling knives for $30,000. Just on another plate of existence. Him and Richard Wu just orbiting the earth.
For the record, I think that was only one knife that went for that figure, right? That one injection from a few years ago.
Yeah, I don't know what his auctions did this year. I mean, they definitely put numbers on the board, but I'm not. Maybe they weren't 30,000 this year.
He was shown up this year by the guy whose name I still can't remember from before the podcast.
Ron Appleton.
Appleton.
K.A. Applegate, the author
I don't know if
of.
You guys can hear me, but I
would genuinely like to see what that knife is supposed to look like without all the fingerprints, but I don't know how to get that.
I can't even tell what the handle. I can't even tell what the handle material is. It just looks like a fingerprint. Is it made out of like aggregated fingerprints? It's made
neck grease.
It's made from the oils from people's hands from touching their necks with their fucking neck grease.
That's what it looks like in the Blade pictures.
Oh god. Handles made out of pure 100% neck grease. Well, that seems as good a place as any to stop the podcast. It was we went off on this one.
Absolutely. Well, we hope everyone enjoyed this strange episode. It was a journey through Blade Show's twists and turns, ups and downs. But we do want to end with a final congratulations to Brian. We'll see you guys in another couple weeks with John Gray, hopefully. I think John Gray will be on the next episode. We have guys from Blade HQ coming. We have some other guests coming through, so it should be a fun time. We also have some T-shirt designs coming out pretty soon. Not that we're big merch slingers here, but the design turned out pretty cool. And we want to thank everyone who's been visiting the website, and we welcome any feedback that you guys may have for us, any content you may want to see on there. We do have some cool how-tos. Jake has been putting together some really neat stuff as far as knife maintenance and care. We're going to have some bonus footage bonus content up on the website, and maybe a YouTube channel with some other cool stuff. So let us know what you'd like to see and or hear. And hopefully we can deliver it. So anyway, you can find me. I'm Levon, and on Instagram at MetalLevon, METALEVON 1L. Guys.
Yep. This is Dave. You can find me on Blade Forums as Misanthropia in the USN as well, and Instagram as _Misanthropia. And if it's Lion Steel, come at me. I'm in Connecticut. I'm waiting for you.
Jesus, you definitely let the beast loose tonight.
And I'm still Jake, and I'm still Whiskey Pickle Jake, and I guess I'm sticking with that one.
Yeah, and Brian at Sharp by Design on Instagram is probably the best way.
Thank you, everyone, and have a good night day. I do this every single time.
Same outro.
Good night,
Yeah,
day.
same outro. Good night day.
Peace.